Hi, welcome back to my quilt room. Grab your cuppa and join me as I take you through how to make your bindings for the edge of your quilt. You can make lovely bindings to feature the quilt. Now for this session you're going to need your set of sashes, and from that we're going to use the 1/4 and the 1/8 inch size. In my book it's going to give you all your cutting measurements. We'll need the fork pins and an iron. Whether it's your mini iron or your big iron, they'll both work the same. So to get started, we're going to cut our fabric double the measurement of the binding strip that we want to sew onto our quilt. Here I've got a 2.5 inch wide strip cut, and I'm going to put it through the 1 1/4 inch sasher. If I want to do a finer binding for around the edge of the quilt, I will cut my strip of fabric 2 1/4 inches wide, and I will put it through the 1 1/8 inch sasher. So to get started, I'm going to show you how to thread it in using our joint big sasher. And if you don't know about this sasher, you're going to see this in all my photos on social media as we travel around to all the quilt shows that we do around the world. This sasher will be joining me everywhere I go. We're going to cut our strip of fabric, whatever width you decide to cut. You'll join all your strips together as we normally do to join our bindings together. You'll lay the strip of fabric down onto your ironing board, so the wrong side's up to you. Fold it in half. Just press the first little bit to get it into your tool. Before I thread this into the sasher, if you watch my previous video, you would have seen I folded my fabric into thirds to make the bias. When we do a binding, we only fold our fabric into half. Now the sasher is going to work exactly the same. You're going to put your fabric up and over that centre bar. Have the raw edge facing away from you. Then you're going to pin into the ironing board. Now, in the last video, I talked about the fork pins, but not the importance of why I use these. If you don't know about the fork pins, these are the pins that we use to match our points when we're doing our perfect patchwork blocks. But I found if I pin this with 1 or 2 single pins, as I iron, particularly when I'm doing big long strips, I'd get different tensions on both sides of the fabric. If I use the fork pin, and I'm on a smaller strip which I'll be using, it puts equal tension on both sides of the fabrics. Bury the pin so that your iron doesn't get caught in it. Push it right in. On doing something this width, I would certainly use 2 pins, but normally it's only 1. That way the iron's not going to get caught against it. Then the iron's just going to sit against the sasher and we're going to push it through. And you won't be burning your fingers as you make your bias. Now I've showed you how to make your binding or put your binding through the oversized sasher just as a demonstration. So now I'm going to do it on the real binding. Here we've got our strip of fabric cut 2.5 inches wide. We've joined it onto our bias join like we normally do. Once you've got all your joins done and sewn together, just press that seam the way you would be normally pressing your binding. Come back to this end. Fold your binding strip in half. Now you can cut this on the bias or the straight grain. That's depending what you need for around the edge of your quilt. All you need to do is iron the first inch. Whoops, that was a bit of a mess up. The first inch there. And then we feed it into the 1 1/4 inch sasher. That's exactly half that strip size. Up and over that centre bar, just like so. Pull it through, and then we'll just need 1 of the fork pins, and you can spread the pin. They're very flexible. Spread it so that it catches on each of the different sides of the binding. Fold it with your fingers, and then all you need to do is put a bit of tension on the fabric. Keep that tension on with your right or left hand. If you're left-handed, you'll be ironing the opposite way to what I'm doing now. Put the iron against it and just move it through. That will fold your fabric in half perfect to give you the edges that align exactly together. Iron about 14-15 inches, move the pin and keep ironing. When you get to the join, here we have the join in the fabric, just move the iron along. As you get down towards that join, just tap with the iron to take it over that little bit of bulk. Keep the tension on the edge of the fabric and keep moving. And there you have your perfect binding done for the edge of the quilt. Thank you so much for joining me for this session. Our cuppas has gone cold, so make another one and join me real soon, because we'll be back to show you more interesting things. In the next video, we're going to show you how to make your bindings with a piping, and you'll be very excited about that. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment box below, and join us on our social media platform, Facebook or Instagram, and we will keep in touch with you. Enjoy.